What's going on, guys? We got Noah and Logan here.
Again, second time.
What'd you do today, Noah?
I got 5th through 8th place at the YCS today.
YCS Philly. And what'd you do, Logan?
I bubbled. Lost out round 9, but it was a great event. We've been playing the same deck. And then I also, after the event, won the 3v3 with Gage and Lou. And I didn't.
They didn't get me.
They're over there
With the
chilling.
same deck.
But no match drop. Noah got top 8. What'd you lose to in top 8?
I lost to Kashtira. It's a feature match, so you can go look it up. Game 1, I lost a die roll and I kind of didn't open up hand traps. And then game 2, I had a lethal push and I messed up and I forgot to use the set rotation Scareclaw field spell he gave me to pop his unicorn so I could lethal him. So I left him at 800 and then the clapback killed me.
It is what it is. You still do really good.
Yeah.
So what'd you play, guys?
We played Pendulum deck. And it's Superheavy Samurai. So all this stuff is basic. 3 of these is probably basic.
So I want to explain this real quick. So the reason we chose to play this deck, well, at least the reason I chose to play this deck over Kashtira is because I think that Kashtira has the most impressive engine, but Superheavy Samurai has the best engine because literally every single deck has to respect this deck. If not, they literally lose the game. The only games I literally lost were games I didn't open hand traps or I got floodgated. That's it. And by floodgates I also mean like droll shifter or stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, like lockout stuff. But,
And like if you play, you're gonna win the game.
Definitely. All these ratios are very standard. There's nothing special about them. That's why these are here.
This card helps you play through droll a lot.
Oh yeah, there's no way we weren't playing 3 of this though for sure. It was very powerful. I really want to play multiple of this card, but now after the ban list, it's probably just not going to happen. The 1-ofs run through, like, this ratio doesn't actually really change. Some people opt out for this. I think it's like play Fenrir, right?
Yeah,
play
I've seen. I still
see
see people play on one of this, and I just don't
that is
understand how they get away with it.
simply incorrect. Opening this, you can open just this card, and it's still considered as a 1-card combo.
Yeah.
Similar to
Also,
that.
like this card going second is insane. Like the amount of times I use bike, search this, like when it has a field, I special up this in effect, and they read it is. Literally every time.
Effect, bring back bike. It's like the free Baron line before normal summon and extra stuff. It's crazy. And then of course we played one of these, and then we're playing this list. We didn't think the hand loop Dissipator Omega stuff was very good. We thought like this stuff was like way more important. Yes, I bricked on it like 7-8 rounds, like at least one game each match, but it was so worth it. Like one of my matches, day 2. I resolved this, and I'm playing against, what is it? I think it's the mirror match, and I drew like Ash Valor. Like drawing 2 hand traps off this card, it just simply makes it worth any type of brick.
Yeah, in our combo, like Noah was on the hand loop build, and then I brought him this version. And you may think it's like the same inboard, but in my combo, the way that I taught him how to sequence it, you pretty much always end with Savage, Apollo, Regulus, and Baron.
Like 6 cards in hand.
Yeah, like every time.
Literally.
So, and like if you sequence it correctly, you can do that like every time. Because we actually search this, and we don't summon it off of this most of the time. Because then this can bring back Bike, which can make the free Savage. So, and then like 3 Omni Negates plus the Apollo plus draw 2 is just too powerful.
It's literally insane. And there's like really cool lines, like you get to use this card specifically whenever you're hand trapped. Like if they stop you from getting to this card specifically, or if like you just don't have a way to it, you have to make like the second link one, and then this tributes the other one, and then you're like you've added it off of this, and like the way you go through, and then like you can pendulum summon a potential hand trap. Making 8 with this sometimes comes up. It's like that kind of stuff is just really good.
Pot of Greed is too good, and like the way Fox compared it, and I thought it was really good, is this is Fusion Substitute in Zoo, basically.
Literally.
And just drawing 2 is just too powerful.
This card took so many good cards.
Book of Moons.
Yeah, what you took Book of Moons?
I took Book of Moons, I took Imperms, I took Pot of Prosperities and banished like my Pendulum monsters, and my opponent like was mind blown.
So I took Solemn Judgment. It was my favorite take. The Solemn Judgment take was just nuts. But yeah, honestly, it was crazy because Dark Ruler No More didn't really exist for me this event. I didn't see anyone get Dark Ruler No More either.
I didn't get Dark
And
Ruler.
it was very interesting. And it was that, so then our hand trap ratio, this is what we opted for. We thought it was the smartest. We decided to main deck the Kurikaras and then 2 Nibs. We didn't want to decide one or other for the main versus the side. Also, we opted for Valors over Moonlets.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the Mourner actually just isn't very good, especially in the mirror, because you have to do it on the Summon a Scarecrow, and then they can just, use like any of their cards, make a second one and use the effect, right? They can tribute it off, someone I got from deck, whatever. So being able to hold the Veiler and use it at any time is super good. Also, it being able to stop Zeus and then not being able to chain to it, like you let them Zeus you. They Zeus, they feel comfortable, you Veiler them, and then they committed a lot of cards into the Zeus, which was really cool. Veiler was insane. It was one of the best cards. These two cards were the best ones to back up your board. It was so good.
It was so powerful, literally crazy.
And the reason we decided on 2-2 of this is because we didn't really know how Kashtira was going to play. But like, no matter how they played, this card handled it. And if they just ended on a Rise Heart pass, they were probably going to lose, especially if we drew like this plus Bike or whatever. So.
And like a fun little interaction we can talk about is like these, like as whenever you're going into breaking a board, like most people are playing around this in the decks that they're playing, but like this bad boy, this stuff, this worked through way more like off-brand, like not Kashtira decks. Like against Labyrinth, they had triggered like both ladies, left them up on field. Like I had to treat both of them some of this, and then I brought back a lady. Like that was cool.
Yeah,
and like other interactions just like that.
And it's like another reason why I liked the Baron Savage version of the deck is because cards like this get a lot more power. Because if you could stick one of those big Omni Negates out their board, summon back like a Fenrir or something, there are like 1 to 2 cards. You have a huge create card that's getting you advantage every single turn, and then you have multiple interruptions, and you just have big bodies.
How many monsters did you tribute with Create card?
Max?
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, I got 3 too.
Yeah.
3's crazy. So that's the main deck. I'm gonna go to the side deck.
Or we can talk about the changes I made for the 3v3 after.
Yeah, yes. So we decided to side Ghost Ogre because we knew that Kashtira was one of our harder matchups because of main deck shifter, and honestly, like it wasn't like the craziest card going in, like as far as like interacting with your opponent. In the mirror match, of course, it's fantastic. That's what we're gonna side it in against. But like as far as interacting with our other opponents, it was like subpar.
It was only good against Pearly and the mirror, and like it's like a lot of the time. Even in the mirror, they can play through this a lot of the time if their hand's good. So we just didn't want to main deck it, but we wanted to side deck it because you want as high amount of hand traps in the mirror as possible.
This card was crazy against a Labyrinth and against Mathmac. Like this card put in so much work. Like I played against Ryan Yu in the event, and I opened this and multiple other hand traps, and I did not realize how good the furniture version of Labyrinth was. And if I didn't have this, I definitely would have lost.
Yeah, shout out to PJ, because he's the one that had the final say on this. We were debating on DD Crow, Bsiso, or this, and we felt like that Labyrinth was just such a hard matchup. It's literally probably the worst matchup that we had to main deck this. Like, and it's not the worst in the mirror if you decide to side it in, right? You can hit Scarecrow, you can hit Scales. It's not the worst card.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And
it's also good against Brandon.
Oh, actually. Oh, I also sided against Brandon. It helped a lot.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. We decided to side the third of both of these because there's just different situations where you want like these versus these coming in the side, and also against Kashtira, one of our harder matchups. You want 3 of each of them in, just like to further solidify the W and the potential of drawing in both.
We also have like a game plan, right? If you want to show them the next 4 cards. Against Cash, we kind of just like ignore Shifter and Droll. We just kill them with big monsters.
Literally
so
big monsters.
Yeah, we literally have 3 Nib, 3 Kurikara, Pankratops, and 3 of these, and all of these guys are over 2,500 attack. And we just make a couple guys from our extra deck and they just die.
Literally, there was a game where I got to summon. Okay, this is an important interaction that came up to me a bunch, or came up for me a bunch. It's super sick. Special summon Pankratops, and then activate trigger, and then chain Pankratops to pop. Like working through 2 things and then getting the free huge beat stick is nuts.
The amount of times that happened for me as well is like insane. When you draw that 2-card combination, it's crazy. A lot of the time I make my cash opponents go first, actually. And I sided in these, and this card's really good because it allows you to play around Book of Moon. So if you summon Soul Piercer, they Book of Moon you. You're like, okay, cool, effect, target my set monster, target another card, pop it, get a search for Wakashi, and they're dead. Because you baited out the Book of Moon, you took out one of their cards, you have a 2,900 monster that if you summon Mike, you can make Baron with it. This card was just literally the best card in my side deck, honestly.
I definitely agree. I also in my top 8 match, I got to use these, but unfortunately the misplay caused where I couldn't leave one through. But it was close. And then this, worst card in our side deck.
Ironically, the only time I used it was in the finals of the 3v3 against Elijah. I opened combo, summon limit, and he lost.
I sided it in a ton. It was only good against Math Mech. He went circular and then effect summon back, and I flipped it, and then he screwed it.
I didn't draw it. Like literally, that's the
I drew
only
it a ton. It just got outed. Like,
I literally only drew this card one time the entire weekend, and it was in the finals of the 3v3. So.
Yeah, but this, I definitely think this should have been some other type of potential back row hate. I definitely could have seen this being like a DD Crow, Bestial, Arch Phoenix centric, like other type of interactive cards that help with those matchups. Because
or some eccentrics or something.
Yes, literally, yeah.
Yeah, because Labyrinth was too popular. Like we knew it was going to be popular, so we brought these in, and these cards are really good against Labyrinth as well. But the fact of the matter was, like,
I don't think these were good enough against Furniture Labyrinth.
Probably not.
No,
yeah, like
Stun Labyrinth, it was crazy. But
yeah, it's just like I don't know. You got to take the bad cards out of your deck and put it in some that are like decent.
I definitely agree. And then time for the extra game.
Baron to floor, Savage. This is on our inboard. Excel, Saratobi. This guy's on our inboard too. Sometimes you like have to pendulum summon back the Wakashi, or you have to add a Wakashi and pendulum summon it, and then you just discard it with its effect if you don't have enough bodies. That happens a ton. So usually your board is like Apollo for 3, Regulus, Baron, and one of these two. And it's literally a one-card combo.
There's also situations where this is for 4 and you're ending on this instead.
Yeah.
It's like you're discarding one from hand to summon it instead, so you can use the 4th for this.
Yeah.
That came up.
That's really relevant.
A couple of times for me.
I did that board against Cash a lot of the time because they can't just summon an inner battle phase and bait this out.
Yeah.
Or like, crash with the Fenrir, or if they failed spell, you have to negate it.
Literally huge,
Alex, you're ready.
So yeah. Apollo, I kind of jumped ahead a little bit, but it's fine. It's part of the inboard. Zeus, Sargus, Merrymaker. These cards were insane.
Yeah, literally not.
Literally, my opponents just didn't play around them. I mind gamed so many people around. My first round I played, my opponent, I was playing a Kashmir, or not a Kashmir, Super Heavy Mirror. He Omega a card out of my hand. He has Peacemaker, Peacekeeper, whatever his name is. And now I start breaking his board. He ends on Saratobi Baron, and I bait out all of his interruptions, and he goes, I have the Link 1, a level 4, and then I activated the level 4 from hand, Soul Gaia. And he goes, oh, you have Soul Peacemaker in hand, because what's funny is when I drew for turn, it was Ash Blossom, but I knew instantly I couldn't break his board if he negated my cards. So I looked down and laughed, and I said, that's funny. And the only reason I did that is because I knew I couldn't win, and then it mind gamed him to think I had Soul Peacekeeper in hand, so he didn't pop it with Saratobi, and then I made this Search Regulus attack, and literally won me a game from a mind game. I thought it was cool.
And then the one other, bow.
Bagoosker.
We got to
summon the actual inboard.
The only thing we need to beat Labyrinth. We summon this bad boy in attack, bow, clear. Except for when that doesn't work.
That card just like, yeah, Cash has outs, but we have 3 Ash and 3 Effect Veiler, and if you open any of them, you probably win. And even if you don't, if you open Gamma, they out it. You don't have cards, you Gamma's life. So you can probably stop their follow-up. Ancient Gear, this guy was insane. With the Cliff Fort guy, and then 2 Scarecrow. I wanted a third one time. I don't know if you ever wanted a third.
I did.
Well, now you have 0.
But now we have 0. So
really cool. Okay, so these cards were fantastic for multiple reasons. Literally, this card won my Game 3 top 16 against the Mirror because he was playing like the Machina, the big Machina monster that can clear your board. And I thought that was crazy, ended on it. And I had like machines left on field, so I got to link into this. I use its secret ability to negate its effect, and then I got to pendulum summon my hand and kill him. I thought that was sick. And then this helps with so many lethal pushes with its additional ability. Like their search abilities are great, but their like actual effects are crazy. And then this one being unaffected by spell and traps, bonkers.
Yeah, that's the reason he's wanting to play Yugioh, and I was like, dude, this card's effect to break boards, like making this, baiting out an interaction, then making this, and baiting out another interaction is so important that, like, yeah, Yugioh helps when your hand's bad, but, like, this is just so important for breaking boards.
I wanted to try to fit both, but there's simply just not room.
And then, at the very last minute, we were so tired trying to figure out what the last 2 spots were, because we had 2 flex spots.
Yeah.
And I told them I was so tired, I didn't care. We decided to put these in.
These were wrong.
For skill drain was mainly like another reason. I mean, I made them twice, But
I made them twice roughly as well. It was like 3-1.
For the 3v3, I actually changed 3 cards in the deck. I changed this into whatever his name is, the level 12. He was pretty good. The fact that you can draw 12.
I can't read.
The fact that you can draw 3 is insane. He's really hard to out. And there's another card he combos with that I also added to the deck. And this was the best card that I added because in the YCS, they always nib you on Excel Mike.
Yes.
And so I played Stardust Dragon. And literally this won me like 3 matches in the 3v3.
It came up a ton for me, and honestly, this card came up a couple of times, but I definitely wanted this card to be Asa. Asa came up more than any other card that wasn't playing my deck, specifically, like, against Kashtira, or even decks that weren't Kashtira, that just had Fenrir's in the graveyard. And then the mirror match, there were multiple times that where if I would have had it, I would have been able to take their scales special back. That was huge.
Yeah,
like that made me so upset how much that
I
came
tried
up.
to convince you. I
Yeah, I
really
know.
did try.
So,
I've been trying to convince all of you.
Yeah, it was a
another
crazy
card, I never missed Asa. I literally never wanted to make the card.
It's because you're better.
You top. But I won that sheets. But the other card, I just really wanted to play this card because this card came up so much day one. And it's General Coral. I was playing it, but I didn't want to cut any of the cards down. I wanted to play 40. And then for the 3v3, I just decided, screw it, I'm going to play 41. I put this in, and this card was insane because it helps the hands. Like if you open, let me show you. If you open Wakashi plus Binky, you can, because this is really awkward, right? If you're not playing this, because you're like, okay, this is just a dead card basically. But like, if you play this in your deck, you could be like, effect, summon, scale this, and then scale this, and you search, and you have pendulum scale. So when you like link this away or synchro it away, you can pendulum summon it later, and it's a body, and you can make savage, you can make cards like that. So that card was like crazy. It also has an effect that makes it attack twice. It also has a draw effect, which I used in the 3v3, which was crazy.
Oh my god, it came up?
Yeah, I drew 2. It was great. Drew Wakashi, this game.
Oh.
And then what else? You can add them off of Ancient Gearbox too,
Yeah,
which
that's
also comes up.
very important.
So if you open Tunneler, it's just like another free plus. It's just free. And that's the deck, I guess.
yeah, that's it.
Shout outs.
Oh yes, shout out our sponsor, Third Monster Games. You know, look them up. They got great stuff, great deals. You know, all that good stuff. Shout out the boys. Shout out Logan. Help me build my deck. Shout out Trevor.
AB Club.
I played roughly like 13 hours of non-stop dueling with Trevor in the cash matchup.
He stole them from me.
Oh, I absolutely. And it was very important. Playing so many games against him taught me how to beat Shifter. Whenever your opponent Shifters on their turn, that makes your hand traps alive on their crackback turn, and they can't kill you as well. So that's like, as long as you can crack their board and your hand traps become live, I thought that was just like the biggest like brain explosion of the weekend. Shout out to Tavion for his first top. Shout out to all of the Goo Boys. We all had a
had
tremendous
5 top?
weekend. 5 top.
Won the 3v3.
3 won the 3v3.
8% of top cut.
You yourself got the craziest Max Labyrinth stuff. Overall, it was a 10 out of 10 event.
Shout out to Logan.
I got Lava Golem Bonding Storm in my super heavy deck.
Yeah, he told me the night before, this is funny, I know we're going on a tangent, but he was afraid to play this card. He's like, Logan, what if someone starts in Twin Twister against me? I said, that's never going to happen. That's like absurd. He goes, comes up to me, he goes, Logan, you know what happened to me? I said, what? He goes, I tried to combo. I'd be like a half combo, said summon limit. I summon limited him. He goes, Lava Golem, Lightning Storm your back row. This goes to grave, and he lost the game.
I skipped up my cards, and I dropped.
Yeah, but shout out to CM Game, shout out to AB Club, shout out to Discord Boys, shout out to Noah. We're going to top Nats.
Absolutely.
Pendulum's best deck, baby.
And best deck. Be ready for my sick new super heavy Danglong deck because it is crazy.